Because karma, it's... always good. I mean, control's great. Yeah, you throw the grenade a bit too late. If you're engaging at the start, also use your shoulder charge to move around corners or just get ahead. Always good. Back in the day. You say, so that guy's there and he missed. Why not just toss a nade, aim there? That will probably hit him or get very close to. So, and then he's on the back foot. Then you can also push. If you get really good at knowing when like your nade throws, it's really, really cool because you can let the nade and then be peeking this corner here the exact same time that that grenade starts going off. So you actually have the inherent advantage there. It's also really nice to have. Control Shift 3. Okay. So yeah. Then that puts that guy on the back foot and he most likely has to bail out straight away. Because you throw a nade there, but no one's there. Like, they've already backed out, so that nade will go... It's quote-unquote wasted. So is that nade. You've gotten really no I mean, it's good to throw a nade there, because you do have two. But there was no information. I mean, if you look at your radar... Go... One. So you look over here... So when you look at, I want you to do this as well. Never tunnel to, this is called tunneling, is when you aim down sights and you never get out of it. Always, after about let's say 2 seconds. After about 2 seconds, just unaim and then re-aim back in. What that does, and what the important thing is, and why this is why people were talking about it a lot of the time as well. And you can get the radar, radar spec for it, I think it is. But yeah, this allows you to pop up the radar again, and you can check that people are still there. So if you're looking down this sight line here, and you're aiming down sights, the radar's not here, you finish, like, you un-ADS, I think is, I don't know really what the correct term is. The un-ADS, this pops up. If there's a line still there, then someone's still in this area. So yeah, by all means, keep looking. But if they've moved there, then you need to be looking that way because they might be coming trying to flank you while you're tunnel visioning. Which is what happens. The guy there. Good. You won't, if you're not confident in the fight, just bail. Keep bailing. Yeah. But now you can just look back to your teammate and yeah, and try push with them. Nicely done. Pull out your pulse rifle again. Immediately, once you're finished and there's no one in the direct vicinity here, immediately switch back to your pulse rifle. A big thing you can focus on is knowing what weapon you need at the time that you do it. Yeah, that's a bit AP. Don't do that. Shoulder charge should be used as a surprise attack more than a charge down. Because a good person will be able to bull through you every time with a shotgun. And trading for it is bad because they get the shotgun round straight back when they respawn and you've just wasted an ability. So it's a net positive for them and you've just lost your your melee ability. Good pulse rifle shots. Yep. Now, okay. This is I brushed upon this last game, but we can focus on it this game. This is going to be talking about pre-aiming and aiming where the head is going to be. No, I love everything. Well, it depends. You just got to be mindful how you use it. So, this pre-aiming is great. I'm going to talk about it. This pre-aiming is great, and this is really good that you're doing it. And where you're aiming is indicative on how confident you are with your reaction speed. If the further out you aim, and this is if you're doing it every time, the further out aim, it means that you're letting them get further out before you start firing. And the closer it is, you've got to be switched on to immediately start firing, because if your reaction time is too slow, then they might strafe out of your bullets and you miss the first shot. And it's every fight going like this, you need to have the first shot because the fight is in your hands when they come around the corner because you're ambushing them. So this pre-aim is great. You're expecting someone to come closer around the corner to immediately turn the corner and head toward the staircase. And it's unfortunate that this is sloped and the guy comes from the back, so that its head's a bit further up than what you expect to be. But this is great that you're doing that. And if you're doing this all the time, then it's perfect. That guy comes across and you've unaimed down sights, which is really unlucky, and that just happens with everyone. Okay, shots. It's good that you back out when you're not confident. And it's really good that you're using the cover to move around. Like, you're conscious of the fact that you shouldn't just move around wildly. This flank is really good. You've recognized the fact that your teammates are there and that they're engaging with this. But you should be using your pulse rifle. That's great. Okay, we're going to talk about this. This is a really, really good thing. All right. So, one way you can do this, if you're getting a flank, you do have the pulse rifle and you've switched to your recluse. Let's talk about this decision. Okay. So you're going to come around this corner. There's no one in your general vicinity here, even if they're looking that way, like away from you. There's no really one in this general vicinity here, which is the effective range of the recluse, right? So even if you do pick up a kill of someone that's just a little bit further, you don't really have anything to do with it because you then start kind of out in the open with a gun that's not really effective in the range that you're trying to push it as. So what you can do and what you can think about doing, this flank is perfect. This is what you should be doing. But switch back to your pulse rifle and continue upwards this hill, looking that way. So that way, when you do come around the corner, and I'm going to clear the screen. When you do come around the corner, you've got the pulse rifle. You don't need to be pushing this way. You're just pushing further and further up the hill. And you can kill this guy instantly. There's another guy on the radar, so you keep on strafing to your right, looking down this angle. This guy will eventually come into your sights, and hopefully you can get the double kill onto this guy as well. And then the good thing about that is that if anyone spawns in this area here, because you're strafing to the right, this wall here is automatically blocking this sight line completely. So you're safe from anyone spawning there. And you can use your radar to tell if anyone is it. And once you get a kill with the pulse rifle, that's when the recluse is up. And that's when you can start looking at using that if anyone's trying to rush you back down. So this is a great idea. You just need to figure out what weapons you should be using at what times. Chucky coming in with the 24 bits. Thank you very much, man. It means a lot. So yeah, because you get a 1 kill, and yeah, you get the kill, but you're kind of out in the open. And then, yeah, you get killed. But that was a great... That thought process there that you had there was great. Nice pulse rifle shots. Yeah, really, really nice. So, this is a good idea. Like, this is great that you're doing this. Again, we can talk about the previously where you're trying to use cover all the time, so you're not trying to get caught out in the open. But I mean, you're getting shot from 2 angles, so there's not really much you can do, but you do get 2 kills before you die, so that's a net positive and you don't even care, you know? I said in the previous game, there's a lot of small things that you're doing a lot of things right. But it's just, there's a couple of tiny things that you get, it feels like you get a bit lost sometimes. So like you do something, you reach it, you finish that like quote unquote objective that you had in your mind. And then you take a while to be like, okay, what do I do next? And it's those moments there that generally get you killed. So it's just a couple of little things that you can change, and they're pretty easy to change once you're aware of it. That immediately change how you play the game, and that it's always for the positive. So this is good. when you keep on going next, always keep a cursor out. Because you can always, hold W and D and change the angle of what you're walking at, but always keep an eye out that just in case someone is there before you just keep on running out into the open. Yes, you have no one on your radar to, tell you that there is, and that's the right thing to do, but just in case, you never know. The 1 in 10 chance that someone is there. This is really, really good. And that's that idea that you're doing right there is great. And keep this up. You see this guy, that's good, that's good, that's good. You see the second guy ended the fight, so what do? You start strafing back to the left to use this wall to block that guy so we can't do a 2v1 on you. It's unlikely that you lose the fight here, but that's really good that you see someone, even if you're not conscious of doing it, you notice someone there, so you use the map to stop them having the upper hand, So that's great. You go try to take the double or nothing. Alright, yes. Slam, slam, slam. Nicely done. Yeah, so this is what I was talking about before. Lol, that guy tries to jump off. Use shoulder charge instead. Yeah, use shoulder charge instead of the slam. It's just you close gaps faster, you get kills quicker, and you don't use as much super. Although it is fun to run around and slam people. All good, man. What you're doing here is great. You're not pushing, you're waiting them to come out. Okay, so here's another thing. So you push in, you hard push in. You should really, once you've noticed this guy, you should really be engaging on that guy. Either to make him dip, or because since you're there and he's in the middle of jumping, you have the advantage. Wow, that pixelation. You have the advantage because you can get your gun up quicker than he can. And so you should win that fight. Because the unfortunate thing is now you get caught in no man's land and you kind of just have to play everything out as you go along and just hope you don't get destroyed. You really like this outside area, don't you? That's great. I like it too. It's always good to get long sight lines. Alright. You're pushing too hard. Always check your sight lines before you go in. So when you come up here, stop holding W here, jump onto this platform, and then assess the situation. Because you have the pulse rifle, you want to use it at long ranges. That blitzing guy has us out for you. Right. You're a bit too, I'm going to say AP, but you're a bit too... you're a bit too confident in searching for fights. Maybe because you just want to use you want to use Soul Charge. Because that is so good. Because I think you're using June Marches, and it's so nice when that happens. If you're gonna hunt for things like that, you can't spend that much time out in the open. As soon as you see people that aren't in shoulder charge range, bail. This is great. This is great. You're hanging out in the open. You're using this block straight ahead of you as cover, which is really, really, really good. You have time and opportunity to get heavy, but you start getting picked from the side, so you should have picked it up. So yeah, okay. This is really good. So you're using that block as cover. Pushing forward here is great. You're trying to kill this guy. As soon as you get hit from the side, you have to keep on pushing forward, which you try and do, but unfortunately, you just get clipped and you get down. You got guys on B. Pause here. Okay, so here's another one. You pulled out your Recluse when you had really no... You pulled out your Recluse here, where there's really no chance of you ever using it. So using your pulse rifle here should have been the correct decision, because you can start shooting this guy straight away instead of having to switch back and getting this guy to the right, and it's like, oh, damn. Thank you so much for the sub, Cook. Means so much to me, man. It really, really does. Thank you so much. You're gonna go for your super here. Woohoo! But yeah, using your shoulder charge there would have got you a bunch of kills as well. So yeah, it's just stuff like that. That's great. This gameplay is a lot better at your fundamentals than the previous game, which is really, really good. It knows that it shows that you're aware of them. Try to shoulder charge your teammate there. Pick up the orbs whenever you can. That's good. People are spawning at A while you're aiming at C. People are look at your objectives. So you're going towards C where there's no one there. You notice way too late. That's really good. So it shows that you're aware of things that you need to be doing. You're just almost there. You're almost there. All right. So the the things from this game that are really, really good. The bailing out of fights, as soon as if you get shot and you're not confident, like, if the general rule of thumb is, if you can't see them when they shoot you straight away, like they're not in your field of view, like in here, just bail. Like, you're already so far on the back foot. So just run away. Yeah, again, look at your radar, check the ejectors every time you spawn. This is what I went through for the previous game. Using shoulder charge instead of slam all the time because it uses less super, so you can chain it more. And then, stop holding W so much. Yeah, so stop holding W so much. You really do, I mean, because you are using June marches, you do really want to go in and get that, like, the shoulder charge and chain it to a bunch of people. But you can zigzag. Like, you can zigzag, and as soon as you see people that if you're, like, sprinting, you see someone jump up that has their gun out, just bail straight away. Other than that, I mean, you're doing a lot of things correct in this game. Oh, and the third thing, which is the important one. Be more conscious of what weapon needs to be out. So yeah. So it's just knowing what weapon you need to have out at what time. So if you spawn in and no one's around you, keep your pulse rifle up. If people start crowding, if you've got your radar here, and people start crowding this area here, that's when you go to be thinking about whether you need to pull your recluse out. Just simple stuff like that, because you do lose time on switching weapons, and less time is missed damage, and missed damage is miskill. So just simple stuff like that. You're doing a lot of things great, and once you refine that, you should get big improvements in your game, and you should be having a lot more fun. But yeah, but that will do it for both of the games. If anyone has any questions, do put them in the chat. Other than that, that will probably end it for my reviewing. Pretty cool. Throwing camera is better than June marches. Depends, man. You can get some nasty stuff with the June marches. Like, really nasty. It's pretty cool.